In today's tutorial, we are going to make this simplified scene. Hi friends, I am VanidasMangathil and let us learn watercolors together. See, in my tutorials, I try to simplify the things and I pick up simple subjects. So this is one of them, and I'm sure you will be, comfortable following this along. I will explain the entire process throughout, and let us get into the tutorial. I am using a quarter sheet of cold pressed watercolor paper, 300 GSM, and I'm using Camel watercolors, artist watercolors. As a first step, I am applying very pale wash of burnt umber, maybe a touch of yellow ochre. Okay, what I want is very pale wash of warm colors throughout the paper. I also have added a touch of violet. Okay, so but if you just use some pale warm color, that should be sufficient. I am using a flat 2-inch flat brush to get the job done quickly. You can use any brush. I mean, if you have a mop brush, that also should be good enough. Slight color variation, okay, by adding a touch of blue to that. See, this initial layer, in my view, it helps in getting the atmosphere right, the overall tone of the paper is applied to sort of a cloudy or monsoon kind of a scene. And this also avoids any paper whites. If you are leaving the sharp white of the paper, we are avoiding. Let it wait for a couple of seconds to reduce the wetness of the paper slightly, and then I am adding a pale, maybe dark blue kind of a thing. Okay, it is again blue and burnt umber. A couple of layers of brushworks which I think can create subtle clouds. So that is the idea, to get some. When I say when I say subtle, I didn't mean that very little clouds. So subtle color tone variations. Color and tone variations within the clouds. I am going to make reasonably significant clouds, okay, because I want the sky to be very cloudy. So it is blue, burnt umber, and sometimes a touch of red. Okay, it's a kind of grayish blue, you can say. The paper is still damp, it is not wet, so suggesting some larger volumes of clouds. I am using a smaller mop brush for this. You can use any reasonably big round brush if you don't have a mop brush. Okay, I think these clouds are reasonably reading well. Maybe I'll make it even darker at some points. Okay. The idea that I have in my mind is very strong dark clouds. So I'm also using a bit of Payne's grey. This is Payne's grey, and a little bit of burnt umber, touch of blue. It is the same kind of combination. Slightly, I'm darkening it with Payne's grey. And let us also use the same colors, similar colors for defining the initial layer for the water. I think this already sets the sort of a mood of this painting. Now let us make the water body little bit more darker uh, by using cerulean blue, touch of Payne's grey. Okay. These brushworks, I'm hoping that they will make some kind of, they will suggest some kind of movements in the water. Okay, now it is fully dry. Now I'm planning some boards into the scene. So I thought I will first draw with a pencil. I will mark the board position and size. Usually I don't draw. I directly paint it. But for the help of for the for I mean for you to I mean get it done easily, I'm drawing it first. So if you wish, you can directly paint also. At this point, the paper is fully dry. Okay, you draw when the paper is fully dry. Otherwise, you may not get the pencil marks dark enough if it is damp, and it might also spoil the paper. Okay, so we have two boards, maybe another small one board here. So these kind of imaginary works will really help you in improving your vision, improving your imaginative skills, creative skills, etc. Adding little bit of red, burnt sienna and blue colors for a dark red kind of a boat here. And I'm not very precise in the shape of the board. Just a kind of illusion or suggestion would be good enough. Okay. See, please take this as a practice work. Don't, if you target it to be very defined, very precise kind of work for the purpose of, commercial for selling, etc., then whenever you do that, you should be more careful in your drawings and your brushworks. But while practicing, you can explore your ideas, you can follow your ideas, you can make changes, you can be bold. Don't worry too much about precision. See, the more precise we are, the more tempted we will be to make everything precise, and we will lose the fun of painting watercolors, and your work may look more rigid or tight. It may not look very loose. So I'm using a Chinese calligraphy brush for this because I get a good. It has a good tip, and you will get good tiny brushworks. Okay. I'm using a rigger brush for those masts and cables, etc. of the boat. Okay. Actually, this work is for practice. Okay, this is for practice, and I'm not too much worried about the precision, as I already told. Some accents, some suggestions for the details. Maybe I'll use some orange color to create a flag sort of thing. I think I will stop the boat for now, and let us go for the other boat. If you are finding value in these tutorials, please do subscribe and press the bell notification. And if you have any questions, suggestions or comments, please do write them into the comment box below. I will surely get back to you as early as possible. Here this boat is smaller, so I'm even less worried about the precision. See, whenever you make these kind of multiple elements, you have to keep in mind the perspective aspect of it. See, the far end object should be smaller, and it should be scaled appropriately. And where you position it, where you place it is also important. So if the things are farther away, the base of the object should go closer to the horizon. Okay. This is a small boat. I think this went little wider. This mast and the cables also. I think it went little wider. So if you are following along, you can make it narrower. Okay. See, when I paint, I often go little bold, and I kind of sometimes the thin lines goes little wider. Okay, the mast should have been little thin. And let us make the small boat. Very small. Hardly, the details are hardly seen. See, this will help in getting the sense of distance or the overall depth of the scene. Now let us make the reflection for this. Again, the reflection is just a suggestion. It should look like the mirror reflection, mirror image. See, if the water is very much disturbed, the reflection also will be distorted. The reflection also will be disturbed. Here I am not suggesting it that much disturbed water, but it is just I am suggesting some slight movements. Though the atmosphere is little dramatic with a lot of clouds, there is probably not too much of wind. Some ripples, some highlights here and there. And let us make the reflection for this boat also. So you cannot go for precision here because it is, first of all, the boat is very small. It is farther away. So suggestion. Go for suggestions, not precision. Okay, these kind of dark brushworks kind of define some movement in the water, and I don't think we should have too much of reflection for the farther boats. Maybe we'll suggest some water movements around the horizon. Okay, it won't be very clear as it goes towards the horizon. But since the sky and water doesn't have any distinction, I'm just making some ripple movements around the horizon also. I think we are pretty much done with the reflections. I'm not yet very sure if we need to do something more for the farthest boat. Let us see. Let us evaluate it after a couple of minutes. If we need any reflection for the smallest boat. some white highlights for, creating little bit of interest here and there. See, this contrast will kind of give it more importance. It will grab the attention of the viewer. I'm using the rigger brush and white watercolors taken directly from the tube. So this may not be very conventional to use white watercolors, that too in an opaque approach, because we are using it without diluting. If you don't want to use this, you can skip this step. But I find these kind of highlights as interesting. I thought some suggestion of the mast and the reflection will be good. Okay, that's it. Some tiny brushwork for the figures. Couple of figures maybe. Here again the scale is very important. The details, the precision is not that important, but the scale is important. You cannot make them too big. I think that will do. The boat looks a little bit more interesting now. The biggest boat, the nearby boat. I think we can treat it as done, and I will do my signature. Okay, I think we are pretty much done. So thank you very much for being with me in this tutorial. Hope this was informative. If this was informative, please do subscribe and press the bell notification if you haven't done already. If you have any questions, suggestions or feedback, please do write them into the comment box below. If you think this can help your art aspirant friends or artist friends, please do share this video to them. So we'll soon see you with another interesting tutorial, and wish you a happy painting until then. Thank you.